Alright, in this video, I'm going to be replacing this basement window with something a little bit bigger to give you at least a fighting chance of getting out of the basement in the event of a fire. And I am going to have to do a little bit of concrete cutting for this, and I am going to have to obviously dig a window well in here as well. And I'm going to bring this down about, I would say, 8 inches, maybe 10 inches. And really just bring the window down to the level of the ground all around. Now there's going to be links in the description for tools and stuff, and then there's a couple other video links I'll put in here because I think this video is going to be long enough without some of the more detailed explanation that we pulled up in other videos. So I dug a big hole, I separated it into 2 piles. One pile is just regular topsoil, and the other one is like super dense hard clay. So I took it down quite a bit, and I'm going to use that clay to go back into the hole, and then for the topsoil, I'm just going to spread that around the yard into various spots where it's low. So you can see how far I've dug down. And really what I'm doing is looking for about a 24-inch window for height wise. And the width on this thing is going to be 36 inches. So a 34-inch window is going to go in here, I think is what I end up getting. I end up renting an auger, and this is for the drainage for the window well. And I'm going to put it down about 6.5, 7 feet. So it's going to go below the level of the basement floor, down into the level of the weeping tile. I should have got another attachment when I rented this thing at Home Depot, but oh well, it's fine. I do get it down about 7 feet. So it goes down plenty deep. And the other addition I found here is using a shop vac is very helpful. You can't really get in there with a shovel. If you had a post hole digger shovel, I suppose you could use that, but even this is getting pretty deep for a post hole digger. But I found the shop vac pulled everything up. There's a couple rocks that would get stuck in the vacuum, but other than that, shop vac worked like a champ. So the auger and the shop vac got that hole down, and I was able to get it right down, like I said, below the level of the basement floor and right down into the area of the drainage system. Now, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure how necessary this drainage system is because the window isn't really below ground level. So I don't think it'd be that impactful if I didn't put in drainage. But anyway, if someone wants to enlarge the window in the future, or if I want to, then at least the drainage is done. But honestly, after doing this, I don't think I'm going to enlarge this window again. Anyway, going to dump some gravel down that hole so that the drainage pipe, you can see that it's perforated, that I run down here has just gravel to sit on, and it won't get jammed up with the clay. The ground here is a super dense clay layer once you get down about 6 inches below the topsoil. And I did get one of these little caps to put on the pipe so that no rocks end up falling down the hole once everything's all said and done. And it just screws on just like that. And then the other thing is they make these sort of like cheeseclothy type socks that go on the tube, and it's just like the top of the pipe. It's just so that dirt and debris and that kind of stuff doesn't build up inside the tube over time. And once I got that sock on the pipe, I'll just toss it down the hole, obviously extending it as I go. And then, like I said, I've already thrown the gravel in the hole, so that's just going to sit on the gravel at the bottom. And then once I've got it all seated in there, I do throw a little bit more gravel in there, and then I start pushing a lot of that clay back down into the hole as well. So to get this old window out, I do take a Sawzall. There are some nails that go up and through it, but it's still difficult to get out. So I do grab a crowbar and just rip it out. Obviously, I'm not going to reuse it, so it's not that big of a deal. I did pop the glass out so that the glass wouldn't shatter in my face, obviously. And, you know, the crowbar makes short work of this thing. I didn't do much of the fine measuring until I got this window out, but I ended up getting a window at Lowe's, and I get a 34 by 22 inch window to go in here. And I cut everything off those dimensions. So it would be, I think, a lot easier if you get a custom made window, like just make your window, frame it up how you want to, and then get the custom made window. And that way it's guaranteed to fit. Whereas going to Lowe's, Home Depot, that kind of thing, you're kind of going with whatever they have in stock, and it's a bit of a pain, and it can be difficult to fit. Obviously in the concrete, you don't have a lot of leeway. It's pretty unforgiving. Anyway, to cut back some of the concrete, I take a 3-prong approach. I obviously marked it out with a Sharpie marker before I start cutting this. So the first thing I use is an angle grinder, and really that's just to get the first inch and just sort of trace out where that Sharpie marker is that I put on the wall. So again, it's about an 8-inch increase in size down, and then it's a little bit of an extension side to side, but I can't actually cut the concrete out. I could only clean it up side to side because there are the floor joists on either side of the window, and that's what's really limiting me from making this window larger. And then once I've used the angle grinder, I take a circular saw. Again, it's got a concrete cutting blade on it, and it makes a huge dusty mess, and I use that to go in a little bit deeper. So that'll put the cut line at about 3 inches. So really, again, I'm just tracing out that cut line. These are sort of optional steps. This is how I did it. I found that this was fairly easy to do it this way. And you can see I'm wearing a few things. 1, ear protection. 2, eye protection. And 3, and probably one of the more important things, is a dust mask, because you're going to be breathing in a lot of concrete dust doing this. Now, I do go to Home Depot. I rent a saw with a 16-inch cutting disc on it. And obviously it has an attachment for water, so you're not going to be eating that dust. But once again, that line is already cut on the wall, so it is pretty easy to come in with this saw now and cut through it. Big pain was that clay in the bottom of this window well turned into like really soft mucky clay, and then obviously it made a massive mess. So anyway, I do have to get into the inside of the house as well and clean up another cut line, because that saw, even though it's 16-inch, didn't go all the way through, so I did have to attack it from both sides. Once that was done, I got some of this self-bonding cement top and bond, and I just smoothed out that top section. So I added a 1/2 inch of that top and bond. What I did was I took this 2x4 and a 1x6 on the other side. I just clamped those at the exact height I wanted everything, and then I just used that top and bond and made a nice flat base layer to rest the windowsill on. So I could build the frame of the window on that. Now I'm using 1x6 as top and bottom. Not ideal. I would rather have treated 2x6, but based on the size I'm working with here, that is what I'm using. And then I do have 2x6s for the side. And obviously I'm going to use some silicone caulking whenever I put the boards down onto the cement. And then depending on where they are, I either have to use a concrete screw, or if it's up a little higher, I just use a regular wood screw. So depends what material I'm actually screwing the frame for the window into. For the bottom 1x6 that I'm putting in here, I'm obviously going into the concrete, so I will use the drill a pilot hole, and then I run a couple Tapcon concrete screws down through the board and into the cement. The one thing I would note is this window has these little tabs on it, which extend out about 3/4 of an inch on either side. So I did have to notch out the 2x6 and 1x6 a little bit. You can see there, for those tabs to fit in. So if I was just using spray foam, which I have seen other YouTubers do, then it wouldn't have been an issue. Just because this one has those tabs that obviously allow you to screw into the frame of the window, that sort of extended the size of the window, which made it difficult to fit in there. So again, I had to make those notches so that I can get those tabs in to screw the window securely onto the window frame. Even though other YouTubers have said the spray foam only for the window is the okay method, I don't really trust that. I think I'd rather have a few screws here. Once I've got it screwed in with those tabs, obviously I then take the window and door certified spray foam and then just run that around all the cracks. So obviously there's cracks between the vinyl window and the wood frame that I dropped in there. And then there's also gaps between the concrete and the wooden frame. So once I've got the window in and spray foamed up, I am then gonna fix this window well. So the one thing I did was I've already cut back the drainage tube, and then I just used a tamper to pack down a bunch of the clay that I backfilled into the hole. And basically right now I've got the clay sloped slightly away from the house, so that obviously if water starts pooling up in here, it will move away from the wall of the house. And then I've got some landscaping cloth, and then I'll take the rest of the stones and I'll just throw that in the hole. And that's where I'm gonna drop my 2x6s. So they're gonna go on top of those rocks. And for this, I'm only doing 2 layers of 2x6s, which puts that at about 11 inches in height. Obviously, if you go deeper, you will obviously need increasing layers. To fill in the window well, I do have some of these white rocks, so I toss a few bags of that in as well. Overall, I use 4 bags of white rocks. And now this is where I've got a video on how to notch these 2x6s out already. Again, links in the description. But off camera, I did cut the 2x6s to the right size. In this case, it's about 32 inches. And then I notched them out so that I can sort of do a log cabin effect with the 6x6s. For the sides, they're each about 2 inches away from the window. And then obviously I'll make sure that they're all squared up. So I'm using 4-inch fasteners to put this thing together. Really just 4 in each of these corners to start with as the base layer. And I'm sure that's going to hold everything in place well enough. If you're making something really deep where there could be a lot of pressure on it from the surrounding dirt, you might want to take a different approach on this. But I think with just 2 layers, that's going to be fine. And then obviously, I also want this sloped slightly away from the house. And one point to note, I did not attach these to the house. I don't think that's necessary. I'm fairly confident they will be held in place. Again, if you had something that was really deep, maybe you'd want to actually fasten it to the house as well. This would cost me about $100, by the way, which is about the same as equivalent corrugated sort of window well that you could buy in one piece. This took me about 4 hours to build in total, including painting it. I got these 6.5-inch screws as well. So those will go all the way through the top layer and into the bottom layer. And then I also take the 6.5ers and go through the cut ends as well. So that'll go through all 3 of those boards because obviously they're cut in half. And then I'll throw the top piece on, and then I'll use the smaller fasteners. And once again, I just use a square pattern and drop 4 of the screws on each side. And like I said, I think that's more than enough for what this has to endure. I do stain it with a Seco product. And this is sort of the same product that I use for pretty much everything. So this actually matches my stairs and it matches the flower planter that I built as well. These treated 6x6s already come in a pretty similar color. I think the color is actually called Sienna Brown or something. So this isn't much of a change by putting on this Seco product, but I just find it looks better with the Seco product. It gives it a bit of a shine, and overall I think it's just a better look. And at the end of the first day, that's what it looks like. I've already backfilled with dirt, and then I dumped some extra bags of stones down into the center. Now the drainage is lower. I've got the drain pipe at the same level as the clay, not at the level of the top of the rocks. So because it has that cover, none of the rocks are going to pour down inside. And obviously I want it down at the same level as the clay because that's where the water is going to sort of stop flowing down. Any water that hits this thing is obviously going to go straight through those white rocks. Now really the last thing to do is to trim out the window. And to do this, I'm using a PVC trim, and then I'm using this DAP product, which is a silicone for doors and windows. The trim pieces I got aren't really like standard brick mold. I obviously got the smallest stuff I could find because, you know, the window is pretty low, especially with the 1x6 as the additional framing pieces. So I did have to get a little bit creative with some of the available trim pieces that they have at Lowe's and Home Depot, but obviously I made it work. I just went in, found a piece of PVC that was pretty small, and grabbed that. Now to do the sides, I obviously had to do some fancier cutting just because the siding is a little bit further over than the cement. But overall pretty straightforward. Again, using that door and window caulking, and then just using a table saw and a miter saw to cut those side pieces with that small cutout area. And I didn't do any mitered corners or anything like that. I just kept it square just because the sizes were all over the place. So to make those cuts, the first thing I did was just run them through the table saw at the width that I wanted to cut them out, just like that. And then I went over to the miter saw and then cut the excess piece off. So just stood the trim piece upright, just like that. So pretty easy to do, and overall doing the trim was pretty fast and easy. Then I obviously added quite a bit more silicone caulking so that I wouldn't have any leaks. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Can someone escape out of that basement window? The answer is yes. I'm 5'10" and I am able to get out the left side window, and I'm also about 195 pounds. If you're 250 or 3 bills, you're gonna struggle getting out of that basement window. I'll be honest. So maybe in the future I'll get one where both sides can pop out to make it a fully egress compliant window. But as of right now, I can get out of that, and that's probably the most important part of this adventure. So that's what it looks like. Overall, I think it looks pretty good as compared to where I started. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.